Hello grade 6, welcome to our first video. I know we have been doing our PowerPoint presentations through our Zoom calls, and I would like to change it back to the video version to give you more opportunities to study, to take notes, pausing the video, those kinds of things, but also because there have been kids whose Wi-Fi has been laggy and they're missing important information. So I know this is not ideal, and in fact I would prefer to teach it in class where I can answer your questions as we do it. But for now, as we continue on in the year 2021, it's important that we make sure the information is accessible, and then we will have a discussion time in class. So from now on, hopefully, who knows what's going to happen next week, right? But we'll watch this video at the end of class. At the beginning of the next class, we'll have a short 5 to 10 minute quiz that you will take through Teams. Scores will be reported to me. Then we will have discussion time about the material, about the video, and then you'll be able to watch the next video, and so continue learning. And hopefully this way everyone is getting all the information and not being hindered by technology, and questions can be answered. The teachers call this a flipped classroom. So, with all that said, we're back to this format. I hope you can hear me. Got my microphone on here. Nothing's guaranteed, but I would like for you to start, and there should be a question mark, or no, there shouldn't be. Start with their bell ringer. If you were in class with me and it was normal, we'd have this on the screen. When you come into class, first thing you would do is you'd answer these questions. So for the first one, I would like for you to describe in your notes, what is a worldview? Now remember, last quarter we finished the year retelling stories from history, and we had to identify our worldview and retell the story through the lenses that we see the world. And so I would like for you to describe for me what a worldview is, and I'll be checking these in your notes as well. The next is a review question. What is a city-state? And then the next one, remember, yesterday we talked about urbanization and the formation of the polises and those things from ancient Greek history. So please pause the video, take time to answer these 3 questions, and then unpause it once you have finished it. I will be checking to see if you have done this. All right. Thank you. Next slide. It works. Okay, worldview. So remember, worldview is the lens in which you see the world around you. When an event happens like the rain falling, you can see that as, right, there's this order in the world that when there's so much humidity, God has made it so that the rain falls down, right? It's not dependent upon how many times you jumped up and down that day or anything like that, or how many kids you have sacrificed. It's not dependent on that, right? It's dependent upon what is going on, the order, the structure to creation. Now, there's other perspectives, right? That if you do the rain dance, it's going to rain. Or if you have been bad that day, there's going to be a thunderstorm. Or if you do something good is going to happen to you, vice versa. So worldview is very important, and it's important for you to notice and understand that you have one. Everybody has a worldview. It's how they take in the world around them. And it's also important for you to understand that in history, these people that you're studying, they also had worldviews. And so you need to, when you're studying it, you need to also take into account the worldview in their writing, in their symbolism, in their ambitions, all these kinds of things. It's important to understand their worldview. And so for the ancient Greeks, they had a very interesting one. As you know, there's lots of mythological characters, gods, goddesses, demigods, animals that who knows if they existed, right? I'm not going to go out on a limb saying that all of them didn't, but they believed that the world was chaos, right? There's all these fights and battles going on in the sky between the gods, and they would take it out on their kids, right? These old gods were at war. There's Mount Olympus. All these things are going on. Some people are mad at other people who steal other people's wives, right? Those kinds of things. And so these old gods had kids, and these kids became more powerful, right? They have these narratives, these stories, and that these kids, right, were ones that would propel them on to the next whatever. But for the ancient Greeks, this symbolism of kids, the importance of having children, of futility, all these things, right? Kids became a symbol of blessing. The more children you had, the more blessed you were by the gods or by the god. And so these different things, prosperity, those kinds of things. And if you didn't, right, there's something that you did wrong. If you, right, if your camel all of a sudden dies, or your donkey or whatever, right, they would assume that they had done something to offend the gods. Back then, everything was related to the gods being super temperamental and at any time could take out their anger on you, whether that's because of what you did or somebody else or another god. And so during that time, their worldview where kids were a symbol of blessing. Okay, they also had these stories. They also had an underworld, a hell, right? And in this underworld, this is where you went when you died. You were condemned there. But they had story of who escaping, right? Maybe I'll let you look that up. Special award or prize for whoever can tell me who escaped from the underworld. Okay, and what this story gives to the people at that time is a story of hope, that the grave isn't the final destination. And so we see that in other religions, in other places as well, that there is this process. We understand, right? We live, we die, we go, but then there's hope. And so these people in ancient Greece, they believed that the gods were very active in their life and were easily angered. And you'll see a lot of that when you read the stories of Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey. And we won't get into that so much in our class this year, but I'm sure in years to come you will be able to read them, or university, different thing, and it'll paint a better picture. But from little things to houses being built that are, if you go into them, it goes outside of time and time travels at a different speed, all because, right, the gods are active. There's caves that, anyways. We'll continue on. So for you, I want for you to take time right now. I say with your island, but just on your own. We had a little review session about how many Greek gods there were, those kinds of things. I just want you to take time right now. See if you can do it. If you try to answer all these questions without using Google, see how many you get right. Mark the ones you get correct. And if you got some wrong, put a little X by them, but then also write in the correct answer. So how many Greek gods are there? Who ruled the underworld? Who is the king of wine? Who is the sister of Zeus? Who is the strongest of all? Who is the god of war? Oh, I think, I'm giving you the answers now. So pause the video, answer the questions before you do this. This is just a list. You can find these in the readings that I'll send to you as well. But right, Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, Apollo, they have gods for everything that's a part of their life. Gods were very active in their life. So you're going to see basically everything that's possible, right? Hunting, forests, wild animals, the moon, wine, food, all those things, healings, poetry, pottery, all those kinds of things. There's a god for it, or a demigod. And so gods were a part of everything that they did. So write down this, because you will want these lists for studying. So Aphrodite, Apollo, Ares, Artemis, Dimitri, Dionysus, and Hades. And there's others. There's demigods. There's other people who are important figures, but these are just the ones that I've listed in this PowerPoint. But you should have these in your notes, so please write them there. Hephaestus, Hera, Hermes, Hestus, Persephonius. Oh, the goddess of the underworld. I guess everyone's going to get that extra point question, right? Zeus, god of the sky, king of all gods. Now, I want for you to take time, and this is going to be fun, but you should write down each god has a story about their lives, and it can be very interesting. So when you're looking at that list, maybe put a star by the ones that you know things about, and if you do know some things about them, write down what you know about the Greek mythology, right? Who was married? What's going on? Who was the one who was in love with themselves in the pool, right? What do you know about Greek mythology? Write it down if you can put it by their name. And so that will just, as you share a picture of your notes to me, I can have a better understanding of what you know already. I know there's a lot of you doing stuff in this one, but I would like for you to be participants, not just watching a video and then stopping. I will be checking your notes. And then my question for you, and you have to answer in full sentences, probably 3 or more. Okay. But my question is, why do you think all the ancient civilizations we have studied make religion such an important part of their culture and traditions? There's a question mark. You can't see it because it's behind the screen. But we studied ancient China, right? You've studied ancient civilizations before. Why do you think all the ancient civilizations make religion such an important part of their culture and traditions? Full sentences. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Remember, you will have a quiz on this information. I will be collecting your notes, your lists, all the things that you have made, and these discussion questions at the end. Mengerti, I hope to see you soon. Au revoir.